Hey, today we're going over some mods that can improve the storylines for your mean and evil Sims. As you may have noticed, we're already starting by having Damien go greet his very noisy neighbors with a rude introduction. We're starting here because I've replaced the rude introduction animation. So the original one is kind of silly, and this just kind of cuts the animation short so you don't get that silly part. We'll go ahead and show a comparison here, so that you get this animation instead of the previous one, which was it was the Nana and a Boo Boo kind of animation. So there you go, you can see the difference. All right, so now we're just gonna have him kind of just be mean to his neighbor. I have a mean sim specifically for that, but he's an evil sim. Damien here's an evil sim, so we're gonna let him be evil. But I have a new mod. It's called Argue and Insult mod. You come with new insults like bully about weight, tease about hairstyle, mock speaking voice, insult intelligence, insult family member, denounce lifestyle, criticize social skills, or complain about their smell. So you can just, I'm gonna just have him kind of just go through all those things. There's another one too, a part of it. Also in the me section is the argue part of it. You can argue about attitude, argue about money, argue about past behavior. I think there are some other ones depending on the relationship of those Sims. But yeah, depending on the relationship of those Sims, there are more things that you can have them argue about and be mean about and all those kind of things. All right, these two pretty much don't like each other right now. There's also another mod that I have called the evil versus good mod, or good versus evil mod, something like that. So if you're evil, you can threaten a Sim with violence. You can admire a reviled historical figure. You can debate the meaning of good and evil. You can delight in the misfortune of others, which they'll get different little pop-ups depending on if they're around a good Sim or evil Sim. Joke about being bad, but feeling so good about it. Reveal aspirations of world domination, or tell a story about evil deeds. Since they are fighting, he's going to threaten with violence, but it's just a nice thing to be able to add on there for your Sims. He's like, calm down, man, calm down. Don't do this to me, man. All right. And then after he threatened with violence, we're going to just go ahead and straight up have them fight. So I added a mod too that changes the fighting. So the first they start off with like some punches, some real punches, and then they go into the cloud. Look, wait, what? No, get out of here. Look, and then they get into the fighting. Yeah, Damien beat him up. I think Damien winning. I think my Sim is winning, bro. Oh no, he lost. Oh, that sucks, man. Are you gonna let your butt get kicked, bro? You the evil Sim. You ain't supposed to let him get you. But anyway, after that, now they hate each other a lot. There's also some other fighting mods that pop up there too. They're under the mischief category. So you can scare the Sim, so scare is replaced with a slap fight. So your Sim would just slap the other Sim. Trick with him, but is replaced with a headlock. So your Sim would put the other Sim into a headlock. And then slap silly, I think is the last one. Oh, I guess you got to be in a goofy move for slap silly. But if for slap silly, that's replaced with a roundhouse kick. So yeah, this is the scare. The animation is a little wonky, but your Sims will actually fight. We're just gonna speed that along, and then we're gonna go to the next one. Like I said, their animations are a little wonky. Look, the animations are a little wonky, so yeah. And then after all that, there is another mod. It's called Drama Mod by She. It allows you to do a snooty introduction, but because he already did an introduction to this Sim, he can't. But these are other things you can do. You can call your Sim, you can call a Sim a Simch. I feel like it should be called a Smitch. I feel like that's a little bit closer to what you're going for, but you know, it is what it is. You can do a petty jab, you can insult their hygiene, or you can tell them to get off my property. So, you know, in this case, we're just gonna tell them to get off the property. So I forgot to show this earlier, but under this angry option, you get accused of being unsympathetic, lash out angrily, gripe about wrong feelings, complain about everyone and everything, blame for problems, and ask for help calming down. That is also a part of the Drama by She mod. And again, you may get different or more options depending on the Sims' relationships to each other. So we're gonna have our mean Sim Jackson come over here and do a student introduction that comes with the Drama by She mod.
Hi.
So that's just new to introduction. And then above it all, so you get a little buff for that. And then we're just gonna tell him to, oh, let's find Drama by She. Get off our property. Oh, he don't sound happy.
Brimble Situba. Huh? Kofa? Huh?
He was like, yeah, you're gonna tell me something. Like, okay. And then you get another buff from free from present from kicking a sim out. That's right. Get right here. Whew. I feel much better now that they're gone. So yeah, you get another little thing for that. All right. And I will be back with some other mods. All right. We are back with Damien now. And I want to go over some traits that you can actually get for your Sims to make your evil Sims a little bit more believable and a little bit more interesting. So let's go ahead into Cass. Yes, I have made him a vampire, so don't worry about that part. But anyway, so he has the neutral trait, which is from Nexus Mods. Basically, it's so your Sim don't mind opposing. Basically with a neutral trait, it gives a +10 buff to your Sim's mood, because it's kind of weird that, you know, for certain storylines, if your evil Sim is always constantly changing moves, as the Sims tend to do. Of course, he is evil, but he also has the charming con artist trait, which is under whatever the sellable or lifestyle. So with the charming con artist trait, these Sims are confident and charismatic, conning their fellow Sims into liking and adoring them while sneakily emptying their pockets behind their backs. Charming con artists are talented pickpockets who get caught less often and are even able to build relationships while pickpocketing. Of course, you don't have to have this one. This comes a part of Need Coffee for that pickpocketing mod. Again, this is another element to add a little bit more depth to your story, to your evil Sim story or your mean Sim story if you prefer. I think the pickpocketing mod adds just a lot of little different things to it, and we can go over the pickpocketing mod a little bit, but really we're just going over for that trait. It just allows your Sims to basically steal from other Sims. It's a skill that they can develop over time and get better at. As they develop the skill, they get better at pickpocketing. That's basically what happens with that. And then there's like a few other cool things. You can even pickpocket the Grim Reaper and some other stuff in between. All right. Since we've added the neutral trait, our Sim will be mostly fine most of the time, because most people do not want their evil Sim, you know, having wild mood swings. All right. But if you want to add some more things to make your evil Sim more realistic, there are a couple more traits that you can add to your Sim with the reward store. Oops. There's a trait called Fearless. It is by Shinox. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it totally incorrectly, but there are a couple other mods and traits that you might want to check out. But Fearless should prevent your Sims from developing fears, because it's an evil Sim. You may not want your evil Sim to be afraid of anything, depending on how you want to play your game. You can just purchase it from the reward store. That is the only way you can get it. So they should not develop any more fears, as was introduced, you know, with the last couple of updates. So it's just something from the reward store, and it just makes sense for your evil Sim to not be afraid of every gosh darn thing. Another trait from the reward store that we might want to unlock is Arsonist Mod. A Sim with Arsonist trait enjoys setting fires to, well, everything. They really just want to watch the world burn. So if you ever wanted your Sim to be an arsonist or just like starting fires, then this is the mod for you. The last trait I want to mention is the Necromania trait, and it just replaces all the negative buffs you normally get from being around death to positive buffs. You can still mourn at a gravestone though. So what we can do is, I don't know if you can set, oh yes. So he has the arsonist trait now. He can set this Sim on fire. And based on what the mod says, they will not try to stop the fire. Now, other Sims will, of course, will try to stop the fire. Like, I just want him to be able to set stuff on fire. So it looks like he can set anything pretty much on fire. Obviously, he uses some reputation. I don't know if it's because she was right there when he did it that he lost her reputation. And he's enjoying it as he sets it on fire. He's cheering the fire on as they just kind of look and freak out. I don't know how long it will burn. Oh, now our apartment's on fire. Christine, can I get you to like, I don't know, not have our apartment on fire? So according to this, you can also have some fire alarms around the house, and you can sabotage them if you have this trait. My bad, didn't I mean to do that. So yeah, you can sabotage this, you can sabotage that, and you can sabotage that. So let's go ahead and let him do that right quick. As sabotage the item fire prevention system utility panel. I don't know if there's actual sprinklers or not. And then let's start a fire in the kitchen. He can just set fires anywhere. So he said he sabotaged the system, so the alarm should not go off. He's cheering the fire on. She immediately took it out though. Look, she immediately took the fire out though, but the alarm didn't go off. I don't know if it's still like sabotaged or not. But yeah, this is something that you can use to make your evil sims more interesting. Just kind of have them set things on fire and enjoy it as the world burns around them. Oh my gosh. Since she wanted to be in our house, I have a mod called Vampires Can Kill by Zero. There are a lot of mods that allow your vampires to kill. But this one I like specifically because it has the ability, but I want this one specifically because you can do this thing here. It's called Drain Life Spirit. Draining a sim's life spirit grants a lot of thirst, but will turn them into cattle. Draining life spirit from your cattle grants a lot of thirst and energy, but will consume their life force. So if you click Drain Life Spirit, it turns that sim that you choose to do this to into cattle. The cattle sim gets specific buffs from being around their master, and the vampire sim gets specific buffs from drinking from their cattle. This is great for those who like having other sims locked in their sims basements. Yeah. Which, let's be honest, most simmers have done this at some point. But for real though, for a vampire storyline, this could make a lot of sense to have a docile food source locked away in the basement. Just a fair warning, make sure you read carefully while installing this mod or before installing this mod. It does conflict with quite a few other vampire mods out there. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna take control of her for a second. Control sim. And then you'll see a new bar. Oh, it's not working. So I have something that's conflicting. That's why you gotta be careful moving around your mods. But anyway, since it didn't show up on her, the other neighbor has already been turned into cattle, and so I'll just show you what it looks like with him. I do have control over him, and you'll see a new bar that pops up here. So life force is the vital energy of a sim. It was made visible by a vampire, and only a vampire can restore it. So you need to have the manipulate life sport. You need to have the manipulate life force perk in order for you to use this power for your vampire sims. As you can see, he's a cattle, so he's happy because he was recently bitten, and that's pretty much how that goes. Not sure why hers didn't pop up because he did drain her, but I don't know if I know you can have more than one cattle. I don't know why it didn't pop up for her, but I'm sure I have something that's conflicting that I need to get rid of. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Before we move on, I've gone ahead and moved some stuff around so you can actually see what it looks like when you turn sims into cattle. Fingers crossed it works this time. Oh, I forgot to mention that you can undo the cattle process, but that sim can never become cattle again, and I'll let you figure out how to undo it on your own. I love how this guy is just sitting here watching all this go down. He only looks like mildly concerned, but that's only probably because he won't even get any tips. He's like, y'all need to move with this. Y'all scared with my customers, bruh. Oh, and the cattle sim gets a cattle relationship in that sim profile area. But also with this mod, you can also kill. That's why it's called Vampires Can Kill. Let me go ahead. Look, that's why it's called Vampires Can Kill. So what we're going to do is with Damien, put his thirst all the way down so he can drink uncontrollably. That way it will always kill, because other ones have a chance of killing, but it may not actually kill. So you want to drink uncontrollably because they'll most likely die from it. Other ones can kill, but most likely won't. There you go. Wow, that's happening. All right, so there we go. Now he can drink uncontrollably. He's gonna drink uncontrollably from this sim here. I don't know how you're gonna do it from over the counter, but hey, you do you, boo. Oh, okay, she's gonna come out to get drank from. Okay, hey, whatever y'all want to do, however y'all gonna do this. Think you're doing. Hey, get out of here. And then there you go. And that sim is gone. And then there you go. Grim Reaper say, hey, how you doing? Zero also have a lot of other mods that pair very well with this. That you should definitely check out. Again, please just make sure you read all their mods, all the instructions in their mods, so that way you won't be upset about it not working. But yeah, that's a really good mod. Speaking of, while the Grim Reaper is doing his thing, you might be wondering why there are no Sims gathering around. Well, that's because of another small mod by Zero called No React to Stranger's Debt. It just prevents Sims from coming around to gawk at a stranger's debt. There's also the Autonomy mod by Zero that only affects selected Sims. Ignore the strawberry jam on the floor, as kind of just show off some of the options for the Autonomy mod. You can just choose whether Sims will mourn for a Sim or cheer their death, or if they'll react to a Sim debt at all. So that way you won't have everybody being heartless, not caring about other Sims deaths. Now you do have to apply it before the Sim dies for the other Sims. So like in this case, you saw Damien cheering his neighbor's death. And even though that is something that can happen in the game, he was cheering it a little bit more because I clicked the cheer for this Sim's death option while I was playing as Damien. For the other Sims to not react to it, you have to kind of go to each one and select what you want the reaction to be once the other Sim dies, basically. So just be aware of that. That's why with the No React to Stranger's Death one, you don't have to kind of go through and click on everybody to decide what their reaction is going to be. But with this one, you also don't have like heartless Sims walking around either. So, you know, just got to choose. So we've created a lot of victims, so we can go and look at our next set of mods. So after your Sims have caused all that trouble, they need somewhere to admire their handiwork. Now that our Sim has kind of added some bodies to his inventory, let's go ahead and put him in the cemetery. This is the graveyard mod by somebody. I'll look it up in a second. So we're gonna put our nice little gravestones here in the cemetery, because I feel like you should have a cemetery once you've kind of taken out some Sims. So the graveyard mod gives you a bunch of different interactions that you can have with Sims. You can tell about their life. You can reminisce about their life. You can drink to their memory. But this is an evil Sim, so he don't want to do any of those things. And remember, he didn't want to kick the tombstone of Sims that he has taken out. So it just allows them to go ahead and kick their tombstone. And then he's like above ground. Ha, Damien showed that tombstone what for. Looking for him, he's above ground and they're not. It's good to be alive. So I just feel like it just adds a little bit to, you know, these Sims storytelling wise. Oh, and they can also kick urns. But this mod has a lot of different things that it adds story-wise. They have a graveyard keeper, and your Sims can actually mourn and have special interactions with the dead. Your magical and vampire Sims each get their own buffs while at the cemetery. And there's a voodoo aspect to it, and a lot of spooky happenings that occur at night. Speaking of, if I skip to 10 p.m., I think, so once it's 10 p.m. in the cemetery, the lights start flickering and then the power goes out. A bunch of, there'll be graveyard ghosts that'll come out. There'll be graveyard skeletons that'll come out. It's a lot of spooky things that I feel like, you know, if your evil Sim if you had like an evil vampire Sim, they'll be chill with that. I mean, maybe they won't want all this stuff on their property. Like, you know, that might be a lot. But oh, also, just from the good versus evil traits, I forgot to say this earlier. There are lot traits that you can have. So you can make your cemetery evil. You can give your cemetery the evil trait. Evil, mean, hate children, and kleptomanic Sims will feel right at home here, while good, cheerful, and family-oriented Sims will be very uncomfortable. You can also give lots the good trait, and that just makes evil, mean, and hates children and kleptomanic Sims uncomfortable, while making good, cheerful, and family-oriented Sims very happy. It could be used for holy or just wholesome purposes. So it's just another mod to make it more interesting for your Sim storyline. So like maybe you want to evil cemetery, or maybe you want your evil Sim to live in a house with a cemetery connected to it, and you just want it to be an evil place. You can just add the evil trait to your Sim. This is the graveyard mod. It adds the graveyard trait to a lot, so you have to have it as a, well, you have to have it as a graveyard. You have to download another mod for that. And I'll link the mod in the description. It's also on this mod's page. There's a couple other mods you need to download too. That is on this mod's page. But that is pretty much all the mods I have to show you today. Unfortunately, we couldn't go over some of the bigger mods in more depth, but we can go over some of them in a future video. But there are so many mods out there. Let me know in the comments which mods you like using with your evil and mean Sims. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Like this video so I can know if you would like to have more videos like this in the future, and comment on what type of videos or what type of mods you would like to see me talk about in the future. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and if you've made it this far, please subscribe, and I hope you all are doing well and take care of yourselves. Until next time, bye.